once again for tuning in with me. And today I want to get right to the point because this is actually one of my favorite subjects, but it actually tends to be one of the hardest subjects to explain. So today I'll be talking all about self-sabotaging patterns and karmic patterns. And what are they, and what are they being caused by? So self-sabotaging patterns are patterns where you find yourself kind of doing the same thing over and over, but like consciously. So I'll give you an example. If like there's something that you've been wanting to do for a long time and you keep putting it off, or like if there's some sort of, it usually tends to be like an opportunity for growth, whether it is a new job, whether it is a creative opportunity, whether it is a hobby you've been trying to do, whether it is going into a relationship, going after somebody, and there's always something that is stopping you, or there's always something that is working against you when it comes to your own thought process. So I'll give you some examples. Examples like, I'm not good enough to, to be with that person, or I don't have the experience. One of my favorites, I don't have time. Yes, I don't have time. I don't have the qualifications. People are holding me back, or my job is holding me back. And like one of my worst ones, I'm not talented enough, or I'm not creative enough. Or it's like, oh my God, I really, really, really want to do that. That is so cool, but I don't have that creativity. It's like, what? No, you do have it. We all have it. We just have to learn how to channel it, and we have to kind of find our way in it. So basically those are self-sabotaging thought forms, things that we tell ourselves that we end up believing, especially, well, another one, oh my God, I don't have enough money. When somebody tells me that they want a session so bad, but they don't have enough money, I automatically say, you don't want it bad enough. That's it. Because money is just an excuse. Money comes and goes. And when you really, 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 really want something, saving money towards something is actually one of the easiest things to overcome as far as a self-sabotaging pattern, because money is always flowing. Money comes and goes. But when it comes to saying that, I'm not creative enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not pretty enough, I don't have time, those are stronger beliefs to overcome. And in the end, I don't know if you picked up the word already, but there's a key word, and that is enough. In self-sabotaging patterns, it always seems like you're just not good enough for something. So self-sabotaging patterns have everything to do with your self-worth, with your self-confidence. So, and that brings you into being in a karmic pattern. So like, let's put it to you this way. So like, if you're in a karmic patterns are basically like situations where you feel like you cannot break away from. So what would be a situation that you cannot feel like you can break away from? Okay, well, every time that you apply for a new job, you get the same asshole of a boss. Ding, ding, ding. You end up going into the same redundant relationships. They are usually codependent relationships, and sometimes in codependent relationships, there's like the stronger person and the weaker person. First of all, that's bullshit, but that's what it seems like from the outside. In codependent relationships, like you'll end up dating either the same kind of person, or you'll shift power within the different relationships. But in the end, it's the same kind of relationship. And then you say to yourself, my God, I keep dating the same person, like the same crazy person, or I keep meeting the same kind of people I can't get away from. This kind of obstacle keeps happening to me. I keep falling into the same financial situation over and over again, whether I have money and then I don't have money, or I never have enough money for something, or I end up spending too much money. And let's not even begin to talk about also when you involve drugs and alcohol as addictions. Those are absolutely self-sabotaging and karmic patterns that you're holding. Another thing is to basically just completely sabotage yourself into preparing for something, and then completely come to work or come to wherever it is that you need to do unprepared, knowing that you had to be prepared, but everything gets in the way, and then you come unprepared, right? So yeah, there's a lot of different situations that you can think of, and they're actually based on how you feel about yourself. When it comes to karmic patterns, they are really based on how you feel, okay? This is how the universe talks to us. The universe ends up talking to us by repeating us into what is called a mirror image of what made you, of something that happened to you in the past, and is mirroring that experience over and over again. Your soul is actually asking for resolution. So what usually happens, I'll give you an example. So what usually happens is, let's say that you have a really bad like stage fright. You know, you don't like speaking in public, or yeah, let's keep it simple. You don't like speaking in public. Something that you really want to do, or is part of your job to speak in public. Somehow there is within you a certain memory where a lot of times my clients don't realize. But that comes from usually some time in the past where they've been bullied back in their childhood, where they were taken advantage of somehow, like there was a misunderstanding. A lot of times it has happened because there's a misunderstanding. So I'll give you an example. Like, I've had a client that she had fear of success. She had fear to like really break out and try out, and she was a singer and she was very talented, but she had this thing that she felt like it was such a struggle to break through and put herself out there. And when I took her back to see where these moments in time started, where these cycles started, it was a time where it should have been her time to shine, but somebody else took her credit. Basically, she was actually trying to help a classmate. And let the classmate copied her. The classmate ended up getting the entire credit for it. So that really scarred my client. And mind you, my client was a child back then. And so this brings me to my next subject, which is actually the inner child. So the reason why we keep repeating these patterns, these really destructive patterns, is because our own inner child is wounded. Okay, whether it was because it was bullied, whether it was because it was neglected, lonely, it went through trauma, whether, by the way, trauma can be not only, you know, abuse, any kind of abuse, but just very unlikable experiences. Just experiences where they marked that person, that little person. And what happens is that because children are so resilient, they end up like forgetting about it and keep going with their life. And of course we have to fit into this society, so a lot of times we end up repressing our memories. But the thing is that when we repress our memories, they go from our logical and conscious mind into our subconscious mind. So I want to give you guys like good news is that there are many ways that you can break these patterns, and there are ways that you can break these patterns really fast if you decide to work with somebody one-on-one. Well, this is what I do with my clients, and what happens is that we all have the chakras, and these chakras, they become affected by these memories that are stored in your subconscious. So many times your root chakra, which is your safety, security, stability, is affected, and your sacral and your solar plexus. So your sacral chakra is everything with passion, sexuality, creativity, and then your solar plexus is everything with your self-confidence and self-worth. So when we go through these memories and experiences that have caused all these patterns in the past, because what I do is that I normally just relax my client and I tell them, you know, take me to the first time where this started. And a lot of times my clients don't even remember, and then when they go there, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, of course. And many times it has to do with like very small experiences or even traumatic experiences, but a lot of times it's just experiences that we didn't realize that affected us so much. And so when we go back into these moments and help heal and help awaken ourselves into awareness, because that's really what it is, we bring awareness to the situation, we actually have more control and more power within ourselves to break these patterns. And so that in and of itself causes better flow into your body. And not only it's better flow into your body and yeah, you feel better, but it causes a different point of attraction from the law of attraction for you to bring things into your life. So basically, everything works through the law of attraction. So if you have a memory in your subconscious that it says that that I'm not confident, I'm not pretty enough, I'm lonely, that's what you're gonna attract, because we attract through our subconscious, we attract through our experiences from the past, and a lot of times these experiences want resolution. So I just want to let you guys know that it is really possible to break this. Actually, I have a workshop coming up where I will teach people how to break these patterns and how to become more aware of them. And if you watch my last video was actually talking about how my own self-sabotaging pattern was affecting in my life, especially with my relationships. And it didn't even affect with my relationships, it affected with my money, it affected with my confidence, but it really definitely affected this guilt that I used to carry. It affected me in my relationships, and it affected me in my work, because your creativity is blocked by guilt, okay? Guilt and shame, all right? And many times this is exactly what we carry. We carry this underlying guilt and this underlying shame that we are different or that we are separate. But the reality is that we are not different and we are not separate. And I promise you, it is so possible to break these patterns. When we break these patterns, we create this shift within our bodies, we create a different point of attraction, and that is when you can actually feel so much abundance coming into your life. I promise you that it is possible to heal your relationships, that it is possible to heal yourself from just attracting the wrong things into your life, and from saying and giving the wrong excuses to not go after what you really, really want. Because one thing I know that is for sure is that we didn't come to this world to live like mediocrely. We came to this world to live abundantly. And abundance is something that is completely infinite, just like we are, just like this universe is. You know, since the day we are born, we are told that we're not good enough. Since the day we were born, we are told that there's not enough food, there's not enough water, there's not enough. Since the day we were born, we are told that that's not enough, that there's not enough of anything. But the reality is that there is plenty. This world is so abundant. This world is full of magic. And only when we learn to connect within ourselves and learn to have compassion for ourselves and heal ourselves is when we can make a really beautiful difference in this world and in your universe. So I just want to give you guys some beautiful food for thought, and I hope you can digest this and let it simmer. And I love you guys, and I catch you guys next time. Mwah.